1942 to 1945, over 15,000 Jewish children passed through Terezin, a former military garrison set up as a ghetto. It soon became a station, a stopping-off place for hundreds of thousands on their way to the gas chamber in Auschwitz. When Terezin was liberated in May 1945, only about 100 children were alive to return to what was left of their homes and families. The story of those years in Terezin remains in the drawings and poems collected and published in the book and brought to life in the play, I Never Saw Another Butterfly. I would now like to introduce our drama teacher, Mr. Spector.
Thank you very much for coming out to tonight's performance. We have a great show for you. Before we start, I just want to give some thank yous to some people who really did just some great help in this show, in just making all of this happen today. I'd like to start with our superintendent. If you could stand up and be recognized, thank you very much, Mr. Cochran, thank you. Mr. Hurd, you could stand up and be recognized. Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Harkness, if you can stand up and do that. I'd like to thank the head of the Fine Arts and Music Department, Mr. Lenahan, if you can stand up and do that. I'd like to thank our choir director, Ms. Foxell. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank some of my colleagues. Mr. Reeves, Mr. Hoffman, thank you again for all your help. And lastly, I'd like to thank our art teacher, Ms. Lorna. Thank you. We ask that due to the nature of the subject matter for this play, if you could please turn your cell phones off, not on vibrate. You can turn those off right now. We also ask that please only leave the room if you have to go to the bathroom. The doors, they make a lot of sound, so we just ask, unless it's to go to the bathroom, please just stay for the duration of the hour and 15 minutes. So, well, thank you. And thank you very much. And lastly, if you like what you see, please, at the end of tonight's performance, we accept donations. If you like what you see, we have a donation box before you leave. All the great work that you see here, all this wonderful work, is due to all of you for all your support makes it possible. So again, thank you very much. Let's give each other a big round of applause. I now present to you, I Never Saw Another Butterfly.
My name is Raya. I was born in Prague. I am a Jew, and I survived terrorism. Hamza. They are all gone, and I am all alone. But that is not important now. Only one thing is important. That I am a Jew, and that I survived. Terezin was a fortress, built by Emperor Joseph II of Austria for his mother, Maria Theresa. About 60 kilometers from Prague, it slept quietly in its green valley under blue skies until
March 5th, 1939. German Wehrmacht enters Prague. December 1st, 1939. Jewish children excluded from state elementary schools. June 14th, 1940. Auschwitz concentration camp set up. September 27th, 1941. Reinhold Heydrich orders mass deportation of Jews and establishes Terezin as a Jewish ghetto. October 16th, 1941. First transport leave Prague for Terezin. Among them, the children.
here, in the back. Have the children arrived? Yes, nearly 400, more than the earlier transports. Come along now, we'll go with the others. Later, when the workers return, and the older children, we'll find places for them in the barracks. Each one must have a place. And tomorrow, when another trainload arrives, we'll find places for them in the barracks and here, in this school. They must start living again. School, yes, you will go to school again. Go along now with Renka to the bathhouse and then supper. I promise. Come. We must go along now to the bathhouse, dear.
They told Papa, come along now to the bathhouse. We must take a shower so that we don't need sickness in the camp. They told him to put his shoes in the yard in front of him. They told him to put his clothes next to his shoes so we could find him again. They took him to the gas. He never got his shoes.
Don't be afraid. This is a real bathhouse. You can have soap and take a shower.
They took him to the bathhouse! He never got his shoes.
That was Auschwitz. Here you are with friends. What is your name? I am Irina Sinkova. I'm a teacher here in Terezin. You'll come to school with us, won't you? You're from Prague? I once taught in Prague. It's a beautiful city. When I first came to Prague, I was about your age. I remember how frightened I was. But after I made some friends, I was happy to live there. Now you are not alone, and you must not be afraid. Now that you know my name, you must tell me yours. How can we be friends? I won't know what to call you.
My number is tattooed here.
Raya Englandrova. Come, Raya Englandrova. Let me tell you about our school. There's so much to do here in school. You'll be coming here tomorrow, perhaps. There are many children here. We have few books, but we have many songs. Every day, if you wish, you may paint and draw. Here, see. Each of the children has drawn a sprayed picture. Would you like to paint? I'll find some paper for you. And tomorrow, you may begin. See, we saved all the paper we can find. Forms, wrapping paper, and some of the children brought their own. And when there's enough, the children draw and paint. Would you like to choose a piece of your own, Raya?
My name is Raya.
Nazis are about to join us.
Oh, if we are not careful. They're gone now.
Be careful. We must all be careful. Tonight the planes, tomorrow the tanks.
Tomorrow, Joseph, what do you mean?
Mama, Pavel, all of you. Mama, today I lost my place.
Joseph, it can't be true.
We all knew it had to come.
You were promised.
Promises! What do they mean? I must report to work at Liberty. They're building a station.
But Papa, you're not a carpenter. You're a teacher.
Hush, Raya. Let your father explain.
I must learn manual labor. Imagine all of us at the school. All of us!
Building a station.
Today they came to the school. We were given 1 hour to clear away. Books, papers, everything. 1 hour after all those years.
And the school?
Oh, no, wait. There's still more.
Mama, it may be that we will have to move. Again. It may be that we must do so. Our landlord is German, and we are Jews!
Oh, we'll try to have patience.
We are Jews. They are relocating the boundaries 12 blocks on either side. And we must, all of us, move into the area of the old ghetto.
So, once again. But Papa, they promised! How soon?
Tomorrow.
By sundown. Sabbath sundown, Alma.
They give us the Sabbath to get ready. It saves a working day. What did you tell them, Papa?
What should I have told him? But some say it is the last order.
Someone always says it is the last order, and yet every month the ghetto grows smaller.
What should I tell them? What does a Jew tell his German landlord?
Well, they can't expect us to.
And Vera?
The women, too. They were released to work. In the streets.
All married women must report to work in the streets. With the men.
You're gone.
Ear cut, too. Mama, you must give up the school. Jews are no longer allowed to teach.
Yurka, where is she?
They were turned out in the streets with the rest.
But we thought the council was going to appeal. Why does the council sit waiting while the rest of the Nazi army walks in?
There are considerations. So, you will attack, shout slogans, you and your friends. Be brave!
Better than hiding behind our prayer shawls.
Pavel, you go too far!
At least shouting lets the Nazis know we're alive!
You go too far. Too far. You think we don't know? Last night, your joke at the regional theater.
The regional? Pavel, you know Jews aren't allowed
A
to.
little joke on the guards. What do you know? The Swedes threw out the lights in the street and attacked them from ambush near the theater opening. They never knew what happened to them.
A joke? Not so easy this morning. Haynes was taken. His number called before the rest.
But why heinous?
Joseph, you are not telling us all.
A guard knows from the council. He said he recognized his son among the pranksters.
But heinous was there. He didn't even know about it.
Pavel, it might have been you. And Papa.
The guard said he recognized him. There is no quarreling with the Nazi.
And the rest of the council? It didn't intervene? No one protested?
Haynes is on the train now.
Without a word, what a coward!
Oh!
No wonder the stars yellow!
You go too far. Too far.
Papa, I'm sorry,
But you don't understand. You cannot.
Papa, I understand. I have this to remind me.
What is this talk? The star cannot destroy us. I will tell you what can.
Oh, no, the boy doesn't know what he's saying.
I will tell you what can kill us. To starve. No white bread, meat, eggs, cheese, fish, poultry, fruit,
Oh,
and
no, please.
none of it. For a Jew
The Nazis want us to work for them, and if we must work, we must eat. There's that chance for life.
I hardly call this living,
But while we live, we stay together, and perhaps later.
Yes, if they bid us work, then we will eat, and we may survive. Together, this war. It cannot last much longer.
all right, Papa.
All right, so no more shouting and no more jokes on the Nazi guards. In a few months, we will be back in our flat. Hubert has promised to keep the furniture for us. He does not wish us harm. It will be here when you come back.
Yes, Papa.
And you and Irka will be married, as we planned. You'll see. I promise.
Promises.
You will see. Come now. Mama, the lights.
Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has held us by his commandments.
Eggs and dwarves, through the street.
His commandments and commanded us to
Try to put it on the wall. They'll be here soon.
to kindle us out of life.
The first transports for Terezin left Prague the next day. We waited our turn and hoped. Families moved in together. We moved in with Irka's family, and then we moved again. Each week, another decree shrank our ghetto and our lives. Even then, we couldn't really believe it all. It was incredible. Our friends lined the streets and watched us leave. 5,000 Jews. Erica Schlager called to me. Maya, come to the cinema.
I can't, Erica. We have to go to the municipal building.
But why?
I don't know.
Didn't they say why?
They say we have to go.
I ran ahead to join my mother. That was the day we left home.
Don't be afraid. We're only on the train.
Where is Mother? What happened to Mother?
You'll see him again at camp. Quiet now. We must wait. It's been so long. I'm thirsty.
I'm hungry, please. Is there bread?
Wait just a little while. And oh, plenty of food.
When will we be there? Will Father be there?
Patience.
the children of Terezin. One who saw everything. The barbed wire fences, the rats, the lice. One who knew hunger, dirt, and smells. One who heard trains arrive and leave, screaming sirens, and the tread of heavy feet in the dark. I sat in Irina Sinkova's classroom to paint and write the story of those days.
Now, let me see all the paintings together. Excellent, excellent, wonderful paintings.
Raya?
I never saw another butterfly. The last, the very last. So richly, brightly dazzling yellow, as if the sun's tears sing against a white stone wall. Such a yellow is carried lightly way up high, and it went away, I'm sure, because it wished to kiss the world goodbye. For 7 weeks I've lived here, penned up inside this ghetto. But I have found my people here. The dandelions called to me, and the white chestnut candles in the court. Only, I never saw another butterfly. That butterfly was the last one. Butterflies don't live here in the ghetto.
It's been weeks since I came to this ghetto. I didn't know such a thing could happen to me. When I go home, I'm going to eat only white bread.
When I go home, I'm going to make my bed every day and clean.
When I go home, I'm going to drink hot chocolate in winter. Lots of it.
When I go home, I'm going to have pretty white curtains.
And rugs, too.
I'm going to play ball in the courtyard when I go home and shout if I want to.
I'm going to read storybooks as long as I want when I go home. All night, maybe.
I'm going to play the piano when I go home. And we're all going to sing, and we won't care how crazy we are. When I go home, I've lived here in the ghetto for more than a year. In Terezin, the black town now. And when I remember my old home so dear, I can love it more than I did. Somehow. Home, home. Why'd they ever tear me away? Here the weak die, easy as a feather. And when they die forever. I'd like to go back home again. It makes me think of sweet spring flowers before. When I used to live at home, it never seemed so dear and fair.
Everything here is so strange. Different from anywhere else in the world.
People walk on the street, not just on the sidewalk. But there's too many of us here that won't even fit on the sidewalk. Cars don't drive here though, so nothing can run over us.
We sleep in bunks, and everywhere lots of people are packed in.
Mothers and fathers don't live with their children. They live in homes, wherever you go.
When you hear the word home, you imagine something quite nice. Well, here, it's all quite different.
The buildings now are fuller, bodies smelling close to body. The garrets scream with light for long, long hours.
This evening, I walked the street of death. On one wagon, they were taking the dead away. I haven't seen my mother in so long. I don't even know if she's arrived yet.
Irina says that somewhere she is looking for me. And if I stay here and keep well, she'll find me. I wonder where she is. And Father and Grandpa. He told me to wait for him at the station, but they wouldn't let me. I think maybe he never came at all.
I've never been away from home before, not even over the holidays, because I have no aunt or uncle to visit in the country, so this is my first trip away from my parents. It's so strange. I've learned here to appreciate the little things that, if we were still free, we wouldn't even notice at all. Like riding a bus or a train, or walking down the road to the water center. Such little things out of our reach.
In Terezin, in the so-called park, a queer old granddad sits. Somewhere
toes? No, not I. I have to stay and stir here. Well up the floor and stir I fear. I'm supposed to sleep on it? A little dirty. Here's the sounds of shouting cries, and oh so many flies. I hold those flies, care disease. Ooh, something bit me, wasn't that a bed bug? Here in Charity, life is hell. But when I go back, I can't yet tell.
Another day has gone for keeps into the bottomless pit of time. Again, it has wounded a man, held captive by his brethren. After dusk, he longed for bandages, for soft hands to shield the eyes from all the horrors that stare by day. But in the ghetto, darkness too is kind to those eyes that all day long have had to watch. Dawn crawls again along the ghetto streets, embracing all who walk this way. Only a car, like a greeting from a long-gone world, owns the dark with fiery eyes. Sweet darkness that falls upon the soul, that heals those wounds illumined by the day. Along come light in rings of people, with a long black ribbon, filled with gold.
Tuesday, March 16th, 1943. I went to see my uncle in the 17 barracks. There I saw them throw potato peels on the ground. People threw themselves on them. They fought for them.
Wednesday, April 6, 1943. Tomorrow the SS men are coming and children aren't allowed on the barracks. Daddy won't know this and he'll die of hunger by the evening. Thursday, April 7th, 1943. I missed Daddy today, but I didn't cry. The other children couldn't see their parents either.
We aren't allowed out of the barracks, and we can't go into the streets that are passed, and children don't get a pass. They say this can last for weeks or even months, like a bird in a cage.
Last night I had the loveliest dream. I was home. I saw her flat in her street. Now I'm disappointed and out of sorts because I woke here, in a bunk instead of my own bed. This isn't a home anymore, it's a hospital. Everyone avoids us. Half the children are sick in bed. The number of sick goes up every day, and the doctor doesn't know what to do.
Typhoid raged through Terrazine. Hospitals and infirmaries are crowded. They cleared out a whole house and made a typhoid ward out of it. Everywhere you see the sign Achtung Typhus. At every water faucet and pump. Don't forget to wash your hands. But anyway, the water hardly ever runs.
I got 6 fleas and 3 bedbugs today. Isn't that a fine hunt? I don't need a gun. And right away, I have supper. A rat stepped in my shoe. Walter, our house sister, had to kill it. Now, I'm going to pitch a tent for the night with Ava.
It's terrible here now. There's a great deal of tension among the older children. They're sending a transport into the east, the unknown, and 1,500 children are arriving tonight. They're from Poland. We're making little bags, toys, and nets for them.
They came yesterday. No one was allowed near them, but we did manage to get some news from the barracks. None of the children could speak Czech, so I don't know if they're Jewish children or Polish or what. You can see them a little from the fortress wall. They went in the morning to the reception center.
They look awful. You can't guess how old they are. They have old faces and tiny bodies. They're all bare-legged, and only a very few have shoes. They came back from the reception center with their heads shaved. They have lives. They all have such frightened eyes.
The poor thing stands there vainly. Vainly he strains his voice. Perhaps he'll die. And then you can say how beautiful is the world today.
We got used to standing in line at 7 o'clock in the morning, 12 noon, and then again at 7 o'clock in the evening. We stood in a long line with a plate in our hand, and we got water with salty or coffee flavored, or else we got a few potatoes. We got used to sleeping without a bed, to saluting every uniform, to not walking on the sidewalks, then again to walking on the sidewalks. We got used to undeserved slaps, blows, and executions. We got used to that. From time to time, 1,000 unhappy souls would come here. And from time
Monday, September 6, 1943. I got up at 6 Sancta this morning. When I came up from the barracks, the last people were going through the gates and boarding the train. Everything was boarded up all around, so no one could get to them, and so no one could run away. I jumped up right over the last people going through the gates. I saw the train going past. In one of the cars, Zanka was riding. Where did Zanka go?
The transfer to the east. Why? To work, resettlement, to
Auschwitz!
Auschwitz.
She will not come back. Yuri told us you die if you go to Auschwitz.
Raya.
It is true, I know. You die in the ovens and the chimneys. When you die, you burn to ashes.
We do not know if this is true.
I know. And you know too, and you think because we are children that we don't.
What have you heard? Where?
Yuri told us. He came from Warsaw. You die if you go to Auschwitz. Every day the train goes and no one returns. Yuri was there. He escaped. How is it that you do not know?
Yes, I've heard the same talk. We all have. It can't be true. Think, Raya, such things can't be true.
But it is. He told us we are going to die.
Raya, wait. You are only afraid. Wait.
Irina, I hate this place. Everything.
Everything?
Yes. What's the use of anything if we are just going to die? Zanka. Last night we shared our bread and sang together. And now she's gone.
I know.
And Eva and Gabriella.
I miss them too.
Miriam and Susanna.
I know.
We promised that next year in Prague we'd go to school together. Now there's nothing left.
They were your friends. You loved them. Do not forget how you worked together in this very room. The songs and the poems, Eva, Susanna, and Gabriella, their pictures, see.
No! We will burn them too!
Raya, listen to me. You are no longer a child. This minute, you are no longer a child. And so I tell you, I have a child. She's 9 years old. She was torn from my arms and thrown from the train by an angered guard. I tried to throw myself after her, but I was dragged back into the car. I wanted to die until I came to Terezin and found thousands of children waiting for me. And then I knew I must not die. Do you understand? You are no longer a child this minute. You are no longer a child. So I tell you, I have a child. And she lives whenever I comfort another child or dry her tears. Dear, this is half the story of Terezin. Its beginning, but not its end. I was a child there. I knew that word. I became a woman there because of another word I learned from mother and father, from Pavel and Irka, from Irina Sikova. I learned the word courage and found the determination to live, to believe in life.
I believe in life. I am Pavel.
Pavel, I'm coming with you. I've settled everything myself, and I have a number in your transport.
No, you're
the Torah, we read 3 words, the meaning of which we have never understood as well as today. They are lech, red, and delita. Go, lower yourself, and you will rise. We too have sunk very low, but risen very high, because we did not let our sad faith overwhelm us. We have not lost hope that right will finally be victorious over injustice. Friendship over hostility, love over hatred, and peace over war. If these terrible times had not come, you two young people might not have met and loved and decided to share your lives together. And so you may say, good may arise out of you. Happy those who live in your house and praise you all day long. Happy the pilgrims inspired by you with the courage to make the journey. As they walk through the valley of sorrow, they make it a place of springs. Yahweh Sabbath, hear my prayer. Listen, God of Jacob. God, our shield, now look on us and be kind to your neighbor. For God is battlement and shield, conferring grace and glory. Adonai withholds nothing against those who walk without blame. As they walk through the valley of sorrow, they make it a place of springs. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has created you.
Maybe. My father was beaten and left for dead before my eyes. I saw it. I was so afraid I couldn't move. But I didn't run. I never understood it until my father dying told me, "You're a good boy, Hansa. You are afraid, but you are not a coward."
I'm sorry. Well, it's late. I have to go.
Where are you going?
Number 25. Where do you live?
House number 2, on the other side of the wall.
There are 30 girls in our group. Most of us are from abroad. Irina, she's in charge of the whole compound. She lives with us.
We live alone. We elect our own leaders, and we have meetings. Secret ones.
Don't you have one for the older men there?
What for? We're old enough. We work in the fields.
So do we. Some of us do. I do. I'm old enough.
We take care of everything ourselves. I'm a leader now. I was elected, so I'm in charge.
Don't you go to school and head after work?
Sometimes. Sometimes we have meetings. The leaders of the boys' homes, we talk and plan.
What?
Well, let's say somebody has an idea and we talk about it. Or somebody does something we don't like, we tell them to quit or else. Lots of things. We're working on something right now.
For the boys' home?
Well, not just for boys. We're going to have a newspaper and report the news in camp.
Have you got a printing press?
We don't need that. It's not that kind of paper. We're going to make copies of the news and hang them around the barracks. It was my idea.
Will you put one in the girls' home?
I suppose we could. I never thought about that.
I've copied over. I could do that.
I'd have to talk about it with the rest. I suppose it's a good idea. Well, it's late. I have to go. We're having a meeting about the paper. You can come if you want.
And so, the gem was born, and lived for 3 years, and helped us live. We waited for the copy to be posted in our barracks, and later when, for safety, it was read aloud, no one was missing. It was an invisible line of communication between the houses, so that even with the dark yards and crowded barracks, the youth of Terezin grew up together.
Raya! Raya!
Yes, I can only see a few minutes. Is this week's exam ready?
Here it is.
I'll take it and get started.
Wait. We talked about it at the meeting. We can run some problems in the girls' home when there's room.
Good. Irina will be so glad of that. She said it might happen and all the little girls got all excited.
There won't be room for too many.
I'll tell her. I'll see you.
Oh, wait! I saw you across the field the other day. Of course. I couldn't say anything.
I know. I saw you across the road.
Maybe we could find a way to meet here in case there are any messages or anything.
It wouldn't be safe. The guards are everywhere.
We meet here at night.
The guards think we're inside the barracks.
I'm not afraid, are you?
No. Yes, I guess I am. They beat you.
It wouldn't be the first time. I always get up.
Someday.
Someday, maybe, I won't, I suppose. What difference does it make?
Don't talk like that. I'll go if you do.
Wait! I'm only teasing.
It would be lonesome without you. I mean, the boys need you and the paper. Irina says you're the only one she can trust to bear the poems.
No, this would do that.
It would be hard. I mean, these past months we've been such good friends. I'd miss you.
I meant to say that first.
I know.
Good night.
Night.
Raya! Raya!
Yes?
I have some flowers for you.
Hans, if you get caught.
You know the square in front of the tower?
Prisoners aren't allowed there.
I know. You can't stop us from looking at it. Look from here. See the flowers? And all the butterflies?
I see them.
Well, I'm giving them to you. And every time you
So
pass,
they're mine. Hansa gave them to me. All the flowers and all the butterflies. Thank you, thank you.
Hansa, Irene gave me a book of poetry. I left a poem for you by the shed.
I found it, and read it, and left one for you. Look for it. Raya, look.
What is it?
Open it, careful. It's very expensive.
It must be since you crawled through the barracks to bring it. Why didn't you leave it in the shed?
It can't be left. Well, not around here.
Hansa, sausage. Sausage, you're wonderful! Where did you get it?
I liberated it.
Liberated it. Hansa!
Actually, I took it. Stole it.
No wonder it tastes so good. You're so brave.
Raya! I won't be here for a few days.
Why? What is it?
Don't take any chances coming to meet me, I mean.
Hansa, where are you going?
It's nothing. It's just some special detail to build something outside the fortifications. They're picking the strongest. I'll be chosen.
But what if something happens?
There'll be a chance for extra food. Maybe another sausage.
I don't care about a sausage. Hansa, I'm afraid!
Wait. Don't worry. We just want a job done in some kind of wall building. Nothing much can happen. Well, I have to go.
Goodbye, then. Goodbye. I'll be waiting. Please. Come back.
Raya, it's all right. A message came through.
What is it? Tell me.
The boys are back. All of them.
I've been holding my breath for 2 days. All I can think about is Hansa.
What would you have done if he had not come back? Weeks and months passed.
Held my breath and waited for tomorrow and held my breath again.
Meeting days are long days. Raya, you would learn to stop thinking of tomorrow and to keep alive today. That's the secret of waiting. Remember that, to keep alive today.
Part of me would always be waiting.
And you would do what we all learn to do, to make waiting bearable.
I don't know. I'm afraid.
Afraid of tomorrow? Then think of today, now. Can you live until night?
Yes.
And tomorrow morning, can you live until noon?
Yes.
And at noon, in the heat and the hunger, the stench and the weariness, can you live until night?
Yes. Yes.
You will survive. Each day you find some reason.
As you have done.
Yes. Somehow one of us is sure to survive. One of us must teach the children how to sing again, to write on paper with a pencil, to do sums, and to draw pictures. So we survive each day. The singing, the reading, the learning, the poetry and the drawings. This was all a part of our survival. In spite of the SS men and their orders against teaching, Irina kept school in a children's barracks. An older boy was always on guard, and at first sight of the SS guards, he would whistle, and teaching would turn into children's games. Games were permitted, but learning was a crime for a Jew. We had books. Each of us had brought at least one book with them. Professional actors, musicians, and singers brought their repertoires. Irina brought Ludwig, the children's opera, and she did it with the children. In Terezin, Ludwig was one of those things one had to see. Thousands heard its melodies, hundreds experienced in the rehearsals and performances the strongest impression
the smallest child in the village, gathered all the children together and marched singing through the woods, freeing the birds and routing the wicked Ludwig. The lesson: alone, we are helpless. Together, we are not afraid of Ludwig or of anyone.
One, two, three.
Ludwig the carpenter, morning we bring you. Children of Shep, come to play stolen song. Close both your ears while our merry song sing you. Marching together we'll drive you along. Out of our village we'll run and rout you, freeing our birds from your cages and bars. Children together we don't fear to clash you. Standing together the victory is ours. Ludwig the carpenter, morning we bring you. Children of Shep, come to play stolen song. Ha ha ha! Close both your ears while our merry song sing you. Marching together we'll drive you along. Out of our village we'll run and rout you, freeing our birds from your cages and bars. Children together we don't fear to flout you. Standing together the victory is ours.
Ludwig, if the rehearsals and performances was our hope, we could not let it die. The transport sent children off to die. New children took those empty places. But Ludwig stayed and gave the children strength and courage in playing their parts. I know a game. I bet that lady with the little girl over there will turn around. Or maybe that gentleman. I'd hum a motif from our opera, and wherever they are, they will hear it. This would not work with anyone else. You can try it anywhere in the world. They are sure to come. You who remember Terzi.
Eva Heska, 14 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Ella Hedorova, 13 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Hannes Hockenberg, 14 years old. Petra Fischl, 15 years old. Marika Friedmanova, 12 years old. František Bass, 14 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Peter Kaufman, 12 years old. Joseph Pollack, 14 years old. Dita Baratikova, 13 years old. Nina Ledorova, 14 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Eva Steinova, 13 years old. Hanna Lesayova, 15 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Hansa Kosek.
No! No! Hansa?
Raya, don't turn or move.
Hansa, where are you?
Don't move. Here, on the other side of the wall. Don't, just listen. I have a number in this transport.
No!
Raya, please, don't turn, don't move. I have a number and I must report.
No!
But the news is good.
What do you mean?
The war is coming to an end.
Hansa, no!
Things are going bad for the Nazis. Something will happen before long. Raya, please, listen.
Hansa, where are you? with waiting. Please, please, where are you? Where are you?
I'm with you. Wherever you are. Listen, Maya.
I'm listening.
There's something I never told you about the poem. I wrote one for the contest too. Remember?
You never handed it in.
It was supposed to be about a memory, but it was about you.
You never told me.
I'll leave it here, under the post near the corner. Read it sometime, but don't laugh. You laughed once at the other poem, remember?
I remember.
When you read this...
I won't laugh. I won't. I promise. Hansa!
Maya, don't come out here. The guards. Just stay there. Stay there and wait. Goodbye.
Hansa! 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 Goodbye! Memory, come tell a fairy tale.
About my girl who's lost and gone. Tell about the golden grail, and bid the swallow bring her back to me. Fly close to her, and ask her soft and low, if she thinks of me sometimes with love, if she is well. Ask her too, before you go, if I am still her dearest, precious dove. And hurry back, don't lose your way, so I can think of other things. But you were too lovely, perhaps, to stay. I loved you once. Goodbye, my love.
Goodbye. It was the motto of Terezin. It should have been written over the entrance instead of the lie that greeted newcomers. Work makes us free. It was goodbye, not work, that made us free. It was the only thing we knew would never change. Goodbye. 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 It freed us all. What was there to fear when you had already said goodbye to everyone you had ever loved?
Raya England Rova. You know by now that my number, 102866, was called. When you come to school today, you will see that I have gone. You will have questions, and I will answer them before you ask. Once, I saw an old Bible picture. Satan was about to pierce a saint through with his lance. The saint was sitting comfortably there, as if it had nothing to do with him. I used to think that the medieval painters were incapable of presenting feelings like fear, astonishment, or pain. And so it looked as if the saints had shown no interest in their own martyrdom. Now, I understand the saints better. What could they do? I wrapped up the last of the pictures and poems in my shawl. See that these are buried with the rest, somewhere. And remember what they mean to all of us. I have nothing else to give you but this, which you and all the children have made of Terezin. The fields, the flowers, and all the butterflies. Goodbye. alone.
For 7 weeks have lived in here, penned up inside this ghetto. But I have found my people here.
Now you are not alone, and you must not be afraid.
We will return. You will see somehow we will return.
I missed Daddy yesterday, but I didn't give in to my sadness.
Some Polish children are coming. We were making little toys, bags, and nets for them.
I went to look for Zenka. She cried and laughed at the same time. She was so happy to see someone before she left.
I believe in life. I and Papa.
Now you are not alone, and you must not be afraid.
Yes, yes, I will marry you if you wish to go together. I never understood it until my father died and told me, "You're a good boy, Hansa. You are afraid, but you are not a coward."
Somehow, one of us is sure to survive. One of us must teach the children how to sing again, to write on paper with a pencil, to do sums and to draw.
He doesn't know the world at all, who stays in his nest and doesn't go out. He doesn't know what birds know best, nor what I like to sing about. The world is full of loveliness.
Raya, I am with you, wherever you are.
As they walk through the valley of sorrow, they make it a place of springs.
I have nothing else to give you but this. The fields, the flowers, and all the butterflies.
Mother, Father, Papa, Irka, I hear you. Hansa, I hear and I remember. Irina Simkova, I taught the children. My name is Raya. I am a Jew, and I survived Terezin.